I recently started noticing that I can't really find in my local area a lot of horror books. I guess there's a lot of horror fans in our area, and I just haven't been able to find any. So I kind of run into some horror books, and it's got me started on a whole new tangent. So we'll talk about that right after this. I happened to be in a local thrift shop, and they had these two mammoth books of ghost stories and terror. And I don't know if you've ever seen the mammoth books before, but they came out in the 90s, and they're huge. They're huge books. I actually checked one out from the library a few months ago that was all about Frankenstein. It was all these Frankenstein stories. So when I saw these two in the thrift store, I was like, man, I got to pick those up. And I asked the lady how much they were, only $1. So I picked them up and got these two. But as I was walking out the door, she was like, do you like, paperbacks in general? Is there something you're looking for? And I really grabbed this one because it had Clive Barker in it. But just wanted to pick it up. And I was like, yeah, I like some books. I like, and she's like, well, I got like these 3 boxes of books and you could just take them off my hands. So she charged me the $2 for these, but then she gave me 3 boxes of books. And of course it was all kinds of different books. It was romances, but I asked her, is there any horror books in there? Because I've not been able to find any horror. And she was like, yes, there is some horror in there. So I went ahead and took the 3 boxes of books and got them back and got to digging through them and saw that they had also, you had the romances, you had historical romances, you had all that stuff. But then, after I weeded all that stuff out, this is the horror stuff that I kept. All the other ones, there's a local bookstore in town that's a dollar bookstore, and I traded them to them and just got me some extra trade money there with Tybrisa Books. But anyway, here's some of the books that I happened to get. Communion, which I worked in a bookstore when Communion came out, Whitley Strieber's supposedly true account of being abducted by aliens, so I was happy to get that. H.P. Lovecraft with a great Michael Wheeling cover by Del Rey, which also came out when I was working in the bookstore back in the 1980s, and I really always wanted to read Communion. There's actually a movie with the More Cowbell guy doing in the movie called Communion, and it had some goofy special effects as I recall, but I haven't gone back and watched that either. But I would like to read that book and see his own personal account of, he says, that he really was abducted by aliens, so that's worth a look. Also, just a couple of other ones. The Unforgiven, which sounds like a Western, but it's not. And then James Herbert with Haunted, and this one, it's got like the Stephen King thing on it. Real and immediate, almost hypnotic, a scary, engrossing book by Stephen King, author of Cujo. So he's known for Cujo. So that's kind of how far back we're talking. But something about 80s books, I love how they would do these little extra covers, like you had the little extra covers. And none of these are in great shape. They're all beaters, but they're horror books, and I haven't been able to find any horror books around here. Here's one by the great Christopher Pike, Season of Passage. So that novel of horror. Also Psycho 2, Robert Bloch, back again. And this is totally different from Psycho 2 that come out about the same time, that had the movie with not Anthony Hopkins. Good Lord, I can't think of anybody's name today. Anthony Perkins. But they've got like an Anthony Perkins kind of guy on the inside cover. But if you read the original Psycho by Robert Bloch, the guy is like he's like fat 40-something dude living by himself with a mom complex. So there you go. And it's a continuation of that and what he does to the nuns and stuff where he's being held. Spore 7, which I've never heard of, but it looked creepy enough. Thought I'd give it a read. Icefire by Robert C. Wilson. Ramsey Campbell, which is known for some great books. And just some crazy horror books that I happened to find. The Seeding, which sounds horrible. And, of course, Peter Benchley with The Island, which I think that was made into a movie with Nicole Kidman, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been something else. I might be thinking of something else entirely. So, well, it says soon to be a major motion picture, but, I mean, Peter Benchley wrote Jaws. He also wrote The Deep. I think The Deep is kind of hard to find if you ever find that copy of that book. Also, you know, I was telling you that I like the Clive Barker. Clive Barker had written one of the stories in the Terror book, and then I actually found Everville and Galilee, which Galilee sounds religious, but that's just what he called it. It's not, he used the old name, but it's not really that religious. So, but anyway, Everville and Galilee from Clive Barker. So it was just some other stuff to pick up. So I thought that was kind of cool. But I did actually find some horror books, so I was happy with that. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more videos of some of my crazy thrifting stuff and what I might have, see, there's Doctor Who right over there, The Haunt of Fear. You never know, but go ahead and hit like and subscribe. Give it a thumbs up, and we'll appreciate it. Thanks. Have a great day.